This is a golden nugget. I'm going to show you the secret to using a capo. Because remember, the bar for a bar chord is a capo. That's what we're doing here as well. So far, I've shown you the two keys. The reason that these are the two most important keys is because you can play in every key using just those two keys and a capo. Here's how it works. If I play the C chords, yes, so if I go through those and I'm looking at this, I go C, D minor, E minor, F, bar chord, G, A minor, B diminished. Okay, great. Now what happens is when I transpose using this capo, when I shift the capo up, now I've changed the key. If I play exactly the same shapes, the pitch has changed. But how do you know which key you're in? So look, there's C shape, D minor, E minor, F, bar chord, G, A minor, B diminished, C. Those aren't the chords though, guys, because what we've done is we've changed the pitch. And how we find the pitch is from the first chord that we played, the tonic, the C major chord. If we look at that and we target this third finger here, okay? That finger there, whatever that note is, that is your key. That's your tonic. And the way I'd look at this is, I'm not going to look at it as the key of C sharp because that's got 7 sharps. We don't want to be getting into that territory. What we want to do is we want to take it down. We're going to go think D flat. So this is the key of D flat. Okay? And by moving this shape up, I've moved it up here now, and I'm just moving it up 1 fret here. We get C. Okay? Okay, there's the C shape, D minor, E minor, F, bar chord, G, A minor, B diminished. Again, the shapes haven't changed, but the tonality, the key has. And now I'm playing in the key of D. Now this is super useful if there are 2 guitarists. If one guitarist is playing an open D shape like this down here, and you want to play something a little bit different so that you're not trampling on each other's toes harmonically, then what you want to do is you just get your capo on and move your capo to a key that works for those. So without taking this off, what I can do is if I move up here, then that puts me in the new key of E flat. If I move it here, puts me in the key of E. Let me just move that up here. So this is the key of E major. But the shapes are still the same. Look, guys. C, D minor, E minor, F, bar chord, G, A minor, B diminished, shapes. We're thinking of them from their origin of being from the key of C, but the reality is the notes are changing because we're changing the frets. Does this make sense? Okay, so we put that there and then back there. So that is the key of E. Now, there are limitations on this key. As I come up here, and I kind of get to around about the 7th fret, and I think you've kind of exhausted the cowboy chords. So if we look here, now I'm in the key of G here, guys. Look, because this is a G note here. If I get my C shape here and I put this 3rd finger on there, look. Okay, really these are bar chords because the bar is the same as the capo. So there, C, D minor, E minor, F, bar chord, G, A minor, B diminished, but that is all in the key of G. Now, that's given us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'd say probably 7 keys. Yeah, 8 keys we could look at it as, yeah, with the capo on there, but some crossover. But I told you there were 2 keys, yeah, so this is a long golden nugget. We had the key of G, didn't we? Yeah, so if we take the key of G, then we look at the chords that we had in key of G. This is chord 1 is G. Chord 2 is A minor, chord 3 is B minor bar chord, chord 4 is C shape, is a C shape, there, C, chord 5 is D, okay, then we have chord 6 which is E minor, and then we get F sharp minor 7 flat 5 as that chord 7. So we've got the key of C shaped chords, but then we've also got this new start here, and we're going to use the G key shapes, yes? So when I put this capo on now, I'm going to use my chords from a key of G now. This is chord 1. But the sound that I'm hitting here is out of tune. This one here is, well, you would think maybe it's G sharp, but it isn't. It's actually A flat. So we've got the key of A flat there. We will play chord 1, okay, chord 2, chord 3, which is the B minor shape bar chord. Yeah, so we've got a C shape, we've got a D shape, an E shape, and then we've got this minor 7 flat 5. We're using exactly the same 7 shapes that we played when we played open G. And now by moving that up, we can change key. So here, this is the key of A. I've capoed at the 2nd fret there. Yeah, so now I've got my G chord there. That's chord 1, chord 2. Yeah, so we've got chord 2, chord 3, B minor shape there. Okay, so we've got B minor there. And this is our handy transposition tool, yeah? Chord 4, chord 5, chord 6, chord 7. Right, okay, back to chord 1 here. But let me just move it up. If I move it up there, then my tonic is going to be on the E string from my G shape. I would track my G shape going up. So that is going to be key of G. Look, can you see the G shape? This is going to be a key of A flat. If I move it to the 5th fret, that's going to be the key of A. Put it here, that's B flat. Put it on the 7th fret, that's going to be for the key of B. Move it to the 8th fret there, that's going to be for the key of C. Now I've already played the key of C down here, so look, if I put this on here, and this is the secret, guys. If you do any recording, yeah, and you want some depth and breadth in your chord voicings, it sounds awful because the capo's done something to the strings there. Chord 1, chord 2, yes. Chord 3, B minor bar chord, yes. Chord 4, chord 5, chord 6, chord 7 again. So this is all in the key of C. So if you could put a capo on and played the G key chords, then somebody's playing down here, playing the C chords, they're gonna match, guys. They're gonna match. So here's what we're gonna do. We look at the C here. C, D flat, D. Yeah, so that's 3 keys so far. E flat, E, F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can go further up and explore them, but when it starts to get up here, the capo doesn't want to fit. Your fingering gets really tight. It's really hard to hold the chords down. In fact, you might find it harder to hold chords when you're in the dusty end of the neck than it is down here where the frets are actually wider. You kind of think to yourself there is a disadvantage to playing with the wider frets, but sometimes you move higher up the neck and try to get your shapes, and it's trickier because you just got to pack everything into a small space, especially if you've got stumpy sausages. So we've got G here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I went to there, 7, and I can take it to D here. So really I'm just thinking from the 3rd fret to the 10th fret, those are keys that I can have using the chords from the key of G. Then if I move it over to the A string, then I could use the C key shapes here. Let's add them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we're going to get repeated keys. This is going to be the key of D. If I play that there, that's the key of D. So it will give you multiple ways to play in all 12 keys. But the beautiful thing is, the reason this is important is that if I capo at the 2nd fret and play songs, now, I know in the key of D that my vocal, I have something called a passaggio, which is like where your voice flips the yodel bit. So I have a yodel in the key of D that happens. And sometimes I don't want it. So what I can do is I can just move up a whole step to the key of E. And now what I've done is I've transposed to a key that suits my voice. This is what the capo is really all about, and bar chords for that matter. Let me just kind of offer that idea up here. I could play there, any key. Let's look at the key. Now I did that using the capo, using the G shapes, the key of G shapes here. Yeah, it's out of tune. There you go. There are my chords, my cowboy chords and 1 bar chord.